is the Retro Media Talk Podcast with your hosts, Steve and Steve. Awesome.
Welcome to Retro Media Talk. I'm Steve Montgomery, and we have
Steve Lago.
And we have a special guest on the line.
Mike Gallas.
Mike Gallas. We have three people on this podcast because we are talking today about another 80s iconic movie classic, The Goonies. And what better person to have on the line with us than Mike Gallas, who's a huge Goonies fan. But we just recently rewatched the film, and we were going to talk about like how it was watching the film again. I watched it on Blu-ray, and I haven't seen the film in probably a good 10 or more years. I would say. I really can't remember when the last time I watched it, even though I bought every probably edition that came out, DVD, special edition, I don't know, anniversary, you name it.
VHS.
Yep, VHS, absolutely. And,
can't forget about that.
Yeah. So, well, let's go with Lego. Lego.
Yes.
What was your reaction to the Goonies when you rewatched it?
Well, I mean, it's a fun movie. It's, I don't think it's as good, when you're 50 years old compared to when you're, like a teenager. When this movie came out, this came out in '85, so I was like 13, 14 years old. So, I mean, it was good. It was cool to see, a movie from this era again, and there's a lot of good, childhood actors in here that went on to do different things. Brolin's like a huge star now, and what's his name? Sean Astin, the Lord of the Rings guy.
Yeah. But
yeah, it was good. It's a fun movie. I mean, it's hard to really get into it when you're, like I said, when you're like 50 years old. But it's a good movie. It's a good movie. It stood the test of time. I mean, of course, nowadays kids are into different things, but I would find it hard to believe that a young kid, if you put him in front of the TV and put this movie on, that he wouldn't be entertained.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking when we first rolled out this podcast. We started with Raiders of Lost Ark, which basically kicked off the whole, adventure movie, movies of the 80s. And this kind of followed, that trajectory, but with kids, just that whole old school type adventure movie. When I first put it on, I put it on kind of late at night, and I started laughing, at the beginning parts, because I was like, the first 20 minutes, I was really tired that night, so I had to turn it off. But, the first, few minutes and all that stuff, I couldn't even remember what happened. And one thing that just cracked me up is that when that the whole statue, the mom's statue.
Oh yeah.
and then the penis breaks, and then he puts it on. He's like, you got it backwards. And it's standing up, and I don't know, that joke just cracked me up.
I mean, Chuck is the highlight of the movie.
Yeah, he really.
Oh, heck yeah,
he really is. Yeah, I forgot how funny that guy was. And one thing I forgot to do before we started doing this podcast, which I wanted to do, is look him up. Has he been in anything else?
I don't think so. I think he went to college and I think I don't think he does anything anymore acting wise.
Supposedly he works on movie sets.
Really? I mean, yeah. I mean, that's bizarre to me because he was a good actor. I thought, he played that role really good.
He's he works in the industry in some way, or he may be a producer or a financer or something like that.
Wow. That's pretty weird, isn't it? I mean, and what about Data? Data was hilarious too.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything.
That's so weird, man. I mean, you got those actors that.
Are you talking about the little Dr. Jones guy, the short round
gadget guy?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think he did some stuff like right around this time, and then he just disappeared.
Weird. And I don't know. I guess we should have looked up what they're doing today. Yeah. So anyway, I put it on again, and we watched it all the way through. I kept thinking it was a Steven Spielberg movie, but until
yeah, I remember the trailer, because it had the big skull with the crossbones on the trailer. And then in the trailer, came at you. It's kind of like how the movie opens.
Right.
Said Steven Spielberg presents. So you assume that he was directing it, but he didn't.
Right. And it's just such a classy type of Steven Spielberg type of movie. It was just weird that he had Richard Donner directed, but I can see why Richard Donner directed it. I mean, he's a great director, and all those actors on there just love Richard Donner. He was hard, I mean, he's they said he's direct, but he's a great guy, and he was kind of like a father figure, and it was interesting to hear. But when they slid down that slide and they turned around to see the ship for the first time, they really saw that ship for the first time. They were actually hidden from that ship till that scene. So those reactions were real. So I thought that was a pretty cool little trick they did, to hold back a surprise to get a more natural surprise of it, So my reaction to it was, you know what, this is a great film, good, clean, fun. There was they just don't make them like they used to,
Right.
It was just entertaining, no messaging. It was just a great film, and great actors. So that was my reaction. So what do you got, Mike? I know you're biting at the bit for to talk about the soundtrack.
Oh, heck yeah. No, I love this movie. This is one of my favorites. It's probably because I probably like it so much is because I was pretty much the same age that these characters in the movie were. And so I remember my buddy Kurt and I went and saw this. We had just gotten back from, I think it was sports camp, and we saw that this was coming out. We went and saw it, and I think we went somewhere after the movie, and I bought like a pack of cards, like trading cards. And what was really weird is in that pack of trading cards was a picture of an octopus.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute. There was no octopus in this movie. What's going on here? So with the soundtrack, that's the thing that I really wanted after I saw the movie. And I ended up getting the soundtrack, and it was like a bunch of bands on there. I mean, if the songs are in the movie, they're in there briefly, because the only score piece that was on that original soundtrack was like the really slow Goonies theme. And I remember being highly disappointed at that. But man, I mean, the movie just stands the test of time. I mean, I could watch this just about any day of the week, really.
Well, you're right. All those kids were about our age when they filmed it.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I don't mean to sidetrack your thing, but I just looked up Jeff Cohen, the actor who played Chunk, and he's an entertainment lawyer now.
That's what it was. Yeah.
So he was in he was in a TV movie, a couple TV movies, and then he was a voiceover or something. Oh wait.
Yeah, he was the youngest of the group too.
Well, I guess he did play in a couple things back in the early and mid '80s. I guess as a kid. Family Ties, Amazing Stories. a couple side Tales from the Dark Side, but overall, no major films. I mean, no major parts or anything. He just left it, I guess, and went to do that or whatever he's doing. But yeah, I looked that up real quick and I was like, holy cow, man. So he was years active. It says 83 to 91. So
Okay.
I would have thought he had a great long career ahead of him.
What's interesting about that time period of when this movie came out, I think it was, I'm going to guess June, maybe July, because Spielberg had another movie coming out, which was in July of 85, which was Back to the Future.
Well, that's probably why he had Richard Donner directed them, maybe. Maybe he just had too many coals in the fire or something.
Well, I think he was directing The Color Purple at that time.
Oh, okay, all right. Because he wrote this movie. I mean, didn't he? He wrote the story of the Goonies, Spielberg.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up.
I'm pretty sure he did. Because I think it was written by Spielberg, but he just, I guess that's why he wanted somebody to direct it if he was doing already another movie. That makes sense.
But yeah, so going back to the score, the original score did not come out until 2010. And so, when I originally saw the movie, the first scene when they're on the beach and they have the big Fratelli chase, that was the music piece that I always wanted to get, and they never released it for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's
I know. So when they finally released the score, is like, oh wow, I only had to wait 25 years for this.
Yeah, the budget was $19 million. It grossed $125 million at the box office. No telling what the DVD and Blu-ray sales were, but I bet there were a lot.
There is a piece on the soundtrack called Octopus.
Octopussy?
No.
James Bond.
No, that's the James Bond movie.
That's gotta be the craziest title ever.
It is.
Movie.
That was. I think that was 1983.
Oh man, I gotta rewatch that movie. I own all the Bonds. I haven't seen them in so long, but I remember seeing Moonraker at the theater. But
that's classic.
I love that movie. Yeah.
I just said to myself, because I've been listening to another podcast, and these guys were viewing the Bond movies, and
really?
I was thinking I got to go back and watch them. But to be honest with you, it's just like they're hard to get through.
Yeah.
But they always the first few minutes though, like the first they always have that big action, just like grab you, But
it just got. It was just like I don't know though. It's like you go from Sean Connery to Roger Moore, right? And Roger Moore is just I don't know. I couldn't stand Roger Moore.
You didn't like Roger Moore?
Nah, he just he was like he didn't seem tough at all. Looked like a good strong wind to blow him over. He wasn't believable.
Just smooth. I just liked him. I don't know. But
I liked him too.
That was my first Bond experience.
And then they got Pierce Brosnan, right? He was next, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. There's another guy. There's another guy in there between Connery and Moore.
That's George Lazenby.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, he made one movie.
What was the movie?
I think it was His Majesty's Secret Service. I think.
Oh, that has a really good theme to it.
And that movie actually did really well. And he tried to hold the studio up for money, so they told him to pound salt, and they brought back. I think they brought back Connery. And then, then they went to Timothy Dalton. Then they went
Timothy Dalton.
He was okay. Yeah. Pierce Brosnan, he just wasn't believable to me.
I just kept thinking Remington Steele every time.
He was kind of a wuss. I mean, he wasn't believable to me.
I don't know. To me, Sean Connery and Roger Moore were my favorites, and then probably, I don't know. I like Daniel Craig. He was really good, but
I can't get into these new movies at all.
I had to turn the new one off just to. But I like the other ones he was in.
But he's believable at least.
He is good. He's really good.
You can see him kicking somebody's ass.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
He's
especially that intro to the very first movie he was in, where he's beating that guy up in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kick ass.
Yeah. They really screwed the last Bond movie up, but couldn't get into it. But they had some good.
The one movie that was the one movie that wasn't really supposed to be a Bond movie was Never Say Never Again.
Well, yeah,
that was Sean Connery's pretty much last stand.
Yeah, they made it independent of the studio, and they had some Bond references in there, but I don't think they called him Bond, or they didn't call him 007. I don't remember what the deal was, but they could only use certain things from the book or whatever. So yeah, it was a weird movie. I haven't seen it since I was a kid.
What there was one that was unofficial.
Bond.
I thought
that was Never Say Never Again.
It was
James Bond.
Was it the
yes?
Because one wasn't included, I think, in the box set, and I was like, why? You know,
it would probably be that one. That one did very well.
Okay.
And that was when Roger Moore had done, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 movies already, and then Connery all of a sudden comes back, because I remember that movie ran forever.
Yeah.
Interesting. Never Say Never Again was 83.
Oh, really?
Yes. And it grossed $160 million.
That's a lot of dough for back then.
For 83, heck yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, guess who directed it?
Who?
Irvin Kershner.
What'd he do? I don't even know.
Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He didn't. Wait, George Lucas didn't direct that one?
No. That's why it was good.
Gee, see? This is crazy.
He just came up with the story.
Fan. This is the bad thing. I just keep thinking George Lucas directed it.
No, Kershner he brought Kershner in. It was controversial at the time because he was a character, like story type director. And I mean, look at the story. I mean, that's probably the best character interaction out of all the movies.
That's like my favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah, and he had never done an action movie before.
Man, he got lucky. He struck gold on that one.
Wow, that is interesting.
Yeah, it's weird because sometimes I black out on credits. I don't read credits half the time,
Yeah.
Now more when I'm older, sometimes pay more attention, but most of the time I just like black out and I just hate credits. So all these years of watching Empire Strikes Back, I must have blacked out on the director and not even paid attention because I just assumed George Lucas did it. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm just now finding this out, or I knew and I just totally didn't really know. I totally forgot. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just forgetting things. When we're getting old, so maybe I'm just. But I don't remember knowing that piece of information, so that's cool. I learned something.
That's unacceptable.
Oh, guess which Bond movie came out during that time, 1983? The one that you just mentioned, Octopussy.
Octopussy.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's hilarious.
It grossed $67 million.
That's horrible.
Okay, and then so Never Say Never Again was actually 14 that year on the list. Oh man, number 15 was Jaws 3D.
Oh yeah.
I just watched that not too long ago, not in 3D, and it was horrible.
Oh yeah, I watched it too.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
I know. It's what though? I will say this. If you watch some of the newer shark movies, some of those are worse. I mean, how do you get so bad? I mean, you would think the shark movies would get better, but some of them are even worse. I don't know why. It's just they're bad. the story, the everything. But there are a few good ones that are really good. But they just keep throwing them out there like crazy. And there's a lot of bad ones out there, newer ones. But anyway, to get back to the Goonies.
The Goonies?
Yeah.
Octopussy. I just want to say Octopussy the rest of the podcast.
We could just have like podcast the Goonies / Octopussy talk.
Yes.
Even though they weren't in the same year, but somehow we're putting the two movies in the same category.
Wasn't there a snake somewhere in that movie?
Which one?
Snake
Octopussy.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think so.
I know the guy gets the octopus on his face, right?
Yeah.
Well, I know, and I know that I know that Octopussy is a chick. She's like she's the chick in the movie.
The queen of the octopuses or something.
I don't know, but she's the chick.
That was the most crazy title ever. I mean, hey mom, can I go see Octopussy at the theater? The theater today.
Well, I'm looking at.
It is PG.
I'm looking at the IMDb page for it, and there's actually a character in the movie, and his name is Dr. Octopussy, played by Lou Hooper. So there was Octopussy and Dr. Octopussy.
Hey, is there any facts on there that says how that title came to be?
Yeah.
It's like who came up with that title?
And then, there's a bunch of women here, like 12, and they're just listed in the credits as Octopussy Girl.
Man, that's
I can honestly say I've never seen Octopussy.
Really?
I might have to watch it today.
You might
just
have to watch
see.
it now. Yeah, you got to see what all the hype's about. That's a very very well known piece of pop culture.
Yep.
It is probably not going to thrill you.
No, it's not going to.
Take you a couple nights, maybe. I don't know. I can't even remember it. To be honest with you, I cannot remember it.
I know somebody gets the octopus on the face.
I do remember that.
That's Aliens.
Yeah.
No.
Oh man. So go ahead.
No, I was going to say something stupid. So back to the Goonies, right?
Hey guys, do you want to get an exclusive 10% off Entertainment Earth? This is the most abundant pop culture merchandise site on the net. You gotta check it out. Everything from action figures, collectibles, exclusives, all kinds of toys. You have to check this out, guys. And you can get an exclusive 10% off with our coupon code and special URL all put together at PopEnvyShop.com. PopEnvyShop.com. If it doesn't work the first time, just refresh with our link at PopEnvyShop.com. Everything in your cart should go down to 10% off.
Well, there was one thing I thought was kind of funny. I was reading some facts.
About Octopussy or the Goonies?
It's Goonies. And one thing that said Sean Astin took the treasure map as a souvenir from the set, but his mom accidentally threw it in the trash thinking it was garbage.
Oh, no way.
Oh, man, wouldn't that suck? That thing would be worth so much money by now.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, man.
You would think they would have had more than one printed up.
Yeah.
They probably did.
Well, what about the other characters in there? What is there any character you didn't like? What about the enemies?
Oh, the Fratellis are hilarious. I mean, the old lady is classic, man.
Yeah, she's classic.
She looks like Axl Rose.
Throw Mama from the train.
Yeah, I think my favorite scene in the whole movie, hands down, has got to be when they're trying to get Chunk to spill the beans.
Yeah, that is funny. You know how he cried in that movie?
Yeah.
You do know? Okay.
No, go ahead and tell it though.
Oh yeah. He I guess there were real tears. He would just think about his mom dying. I guess his mom died at a young age, so to generate real tears, he thought about his mom dying. So I don't know. That's pretty good acting for a young kid, you know.
I suppose so.
They didn't have to put onions in his eyes or anything to generate tears. He would really.
I think now they just like squirt some like drops on your face now.
Yeah, it'd be so easy to do that. I mean, just exactly. Visine or tear. I don't know.
Because I was watching something the other day that somebody was crying, but you could tell they weren't really crying, and it looks like the tears they put on were like almost like some kind of like clear oil. They weren't even flowing. Yeah. They weren't even flowing right.
So the film was shot almost entirely on location and in sequence in Astoria, Oregon. Well, I thought it was shot in Hawaii.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what you told me.
Well, that's what I heard. That's where Richard Donner lived, and I believe that's where the pirate ship and stuff. Let me see this. Now I'm getting wrong information.
Maybe they just shot the pirate ship scene in Hawaii.
Because I was listening to.
Because they were on
go there. You can go to Astoria, and because I know people that have gone there and seen the sets or the house and all that stuff.
Okay, so here we go. Here's the locations, Astoria. Okay, so looks like Motorola Ecola State Park. That ain't it. Northern California. Well, I don't know. I'm confused because I know
I would believe it was in Oregon. It would make sense.
Well, yeah, especially where they were living, because there was leaves falling and all that stuff. But I thought maybe the ocean part, maybe they went to maybe they filmed it in Hawaii, but.
It looks that I can tell you that ocean part at the end. It looks a lot like the Pacific, like California, Oregon.
Because I know they went to Richard Donner's house in Hawaii. Like they stayed there with. They surprised him by crashing at his house. I guess Spielberg played a joke on him. The whole crew went there or something.
Maybe it was for his birthday.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's all. Let's see, I'm just reading. And so by the end of the movie, in the last 2 weeks, Richard kept saying, oh, my God, I got 2 weeks to go. I can't wait to finish, and I'm going to go to my house in Hawaii, and I'm going to get away from all this noise. That's what it was. Okay, so he goes to his house. So right after we wrap up the film, it says... I take the whole cast. That must have been Spielberg. He took the whole cast and put them on American Airlines.
They got
them to Donner's house in Hawaii. So before Dick ever landed, they all showed up in his living room. It says he dropped to his knees. He went white as a sheet. She said, "Oh, that must be."
Oh, that's cool.
We thought we'd give him a coronary. It says Donner himself also appears in this episode alongside. I don't know what episode they're talking about, but must be. It's a reunited thing on video on YouTube. But anyway, that's what happened. That's why I got confused on the filming. So they just flew there and surprised him when he was trying to get away from the cast, get some relaxation or something. That's hilarious. So,
they got the locations on here. A lot of them are Astoria.
Yeah, that's a beautiful place. Man, too bad,
Okay, Ecola State Park is where they. That was the backdrop.
Well, in Oregon,
for when they see they have the map, and they're looking, with that little piece that they were looking through the. Like the eyepiece that he was looking through to make the match. Yeah, that is supposedly that's Ecola Beach, and then they also used Cannon Beach for the car chase. I'm trying to find the pirate ship. Goat Rock Beach in California was another scene. That's when One Eye Willie's ship sails to the sunset. So it wasn't Hawaii. It was actually California.
Are there any parts that you guys didn't understand, like the timing issue? Like, one thing I was wondering is, like, how did Sloth and Chunk get there to the ship, before everybody else or whatever?
Well, I mean, they got there.
Or, didn't cross paths with the other guys and then, I maybe took a shortcut. I don't know. That wasn't really, I didn't really.
Yeah, it's a kid's movie. I wouldn't put too much thought in that.
Yeah, I know. I get technical sometimes, watching movies like, well, how'd they get there so fast? They're,
I want to know what movie or TV show or whatever that Sloth was watching. Was that supposed to be like Errol Flynn or something?
I don't know.
Probably. I probably had to have been.
What did it say? It said it took Sloth 5 hours. They took 5 hours in the makeup chair to do that makeup. 5 hours.
Yeah, that's
like
pretty,
a whole day's of work.
That's pretty standard, though, for makeup jobs, though,
I know, but man, think about that. 5 hours and then how many hours of filming? They probably went on for 5 hours of filming. Probably 10-hour days.
I mean, I'm sure he was glad just to get a paycheck, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing a major motion picture. I mean, yeah, you're gonna sit there and take it. But I mean, gee whiz, that's a lot of. I don't even know what this guy looks like in real life. I'm gonna John Tuzak.
He's on the IMDb page.
I'm gonna look at him.
He's a big guy. He had like curly-ish brown hair.
Oh, he looks like Kane Hodder or something. That played Jason, kind of looks like that. Or he looks like some football player. Oh,
he's ex. Oh. He was an ex-football player.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
okay.
Played for the Raiders.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, wow. Yeah. He looks like that guy. He looks like the dude from Revenge of the Nerds, kind of. Nerds. What's his name? Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Dude.
The guy that couldn't belch.
That dude is hilarious. He was at a bar locally one time promoting his beer or something. And me, Kurt, and somebody else was there, but we didn't have the nerve to go over there and introduce ourselves. We were just looking at him like starstruck. That's the Nerds guy. I forget his name now. Another sidetrack topic, but I got to find out because I can't remember his. Donald Gibb? Ogre? Yeah. Guess that was it. Ogre.
He was in a lot of 80s movies.
Booger?
No. Yeah, Booger was great. he was hilarious. Oh, yeah, Donald Gibb. He was in Stripes, too, wasn't he? Yeah. I think so. What was he promoting?
Duff beer.
Oh, Ogre beer, dude. No wonder. What an idiot. It's like Ogre beer. Holy cow, that's funny. I wanted to get an autograph, too. And neither one of us had the nerve to go up there and look like a bunch of struck nerds, Hey, man, can we get your autograph?
Why not?
I don't know. It was just stupid. I don't know. He probably would have loved it because half the people weren't even going up talking to him. They probably don't even remember the movie. Who knows? I love that movie. That movie's awesome. We got to do that movie too, by the way. Anyway, back to the. Hey, Gals, what were you talking? You were talking about deleted scenes you were going to share.
Oh yeah, there was the Angel of Death.
What was that?
Something about mouth. Says he tickles behind the skeleton's elbow. This triggers a loud creaking sound. Suddenly, a skeleton shoots out of one of the caves dressed as an angel of death. The skeleton is carrying a large sickle and its rusted blade, long and sharp. The booby-trapped skeleton speeds across the floor, fastened to a wooden board with wheels. The blade coming straight for the boys' heads. The boys duck just in time, and the skeleton shoots by, just missing their heads by less than an inch. That was one of them.
Hey, you're right though on that Errol Flynn. It says he was watching Captain
Really?
Blood. Yeah, by
Okay.
Errol Flynn. Hey, Steve.
Yep.
You gotta love the scene though in the end. Hey, you guys, you know what we were talking about at the ship, and he rips that shirt off. And
Oh, the Superman?
Yeah.
and that's just awesome because Richard Donner, of course, director of Superman,
Directed Superman.
He had to throw that in there. That was classic. That was great.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys.
There's another deleted scene called Mikey at the Wheel. It has something to do with they're in a pirate cavern. And let's see, moving along the raised deck, Mikey backs into something. He turns. The pirate stands there, his back to Mikey. The pirate is huddled over the ship's huge wooden steering wheel. He is dressed in a tattered pirate costume. Mikey catches his breath, reaches out, touches the pirate. A creak. The pirate turns. Mikey is face to face with grinning pirate skull, and two daggers come out of his eye sockets.
Huh. Well, that's cool. Hey,
Now you know why they were deleted.
yeah.
Yep.
Hi guys, Steve here. Are you a musician, composer, or hobbyist? Do you use music software instruments, virtual instruments, audio plugins, or whatever? Please check out my blog at samplesoundreview.com. samplesoundreview.com, where I share the latest new releases, reviews, and an exclusive deal page where you can save a buttload of money on virtual instruments. So why not check out samplesoundreview.com for the latest deals. You can also find us on Facebook. We have a Facebook group that's new and trying to grow. We also are on Twitter and a couple other sites, Instagram. So samplesoundreview.com. Check us out and save some money. Hey, June 7th is Goonies Day in Astoria, Oregon.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure it's like a big deal, out there.
I bet it is, man. That'd be cool, Bruce Campbell lives somewhere out in Oregon. Don't go to Portland. But yeah, the other places are awesome. It looks like. I mean,
I'm surprised because it's more, it's more like, woodsy and,
yeah.
Usually they like the shitty cities.
Well, that's why they're important.
It's really hard to get around because there's one interstate. It's north or south. So if you want to go east to west, yeah.
Oh, wow.
If you want to go east to west, good luck because it's just all mountains. You're not going anywhere. So everybody just goes north and south. But it is home to the deepest natural lake in all of America, which is Hidden Lake or Crater Lake. Crater Lake.
Oh yeah, I've heard Crater Lake.
Yeah, I wanted to go there, but we didn't have time.
It's deeper than the Great Lakes?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love the look of Oregon because I all those trees and man, just awesome.
It's a huge. The entire state's just like a big logging state, I mean, yeah. I don't know really what they do in Portland. I didn't get that far. We stayed on the coast. We stayed on the southern coast, and it is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I bet. it looks like that slide they rode down in the Goonies was a real ride.
I got the card for it because it shows it on this card. There were 3 slides, and one of them has like a loop in it.
Huh.
So yeah, they all split off into 3 different slides.
Hey, I heard that Spielberg was so cool, man. He was just like one of the guys, one of the Fratellis or whatever. I forget which actor, what his name was, but he said they were in Hawaii, I guess. I think it was Hawaii. Now I'm getting my channels crossed, but he was going to go, they must have had a day off, and he was going to go, I think scuba diving or something, and Spielberg just whipped out bunch of money and just he was like super generous the whole time. I guess he was there like most of the time or all the time, I guess. So he was almost like a director, I guess, but he was just like, he was so like kind and giving, I guess, to the cast, and I thought that was kind of cool when they were talking about that. What's your favorite character then? Everybody agrees on Chunk then?
Yeah, pretty much, I think.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Chuck's probably the most funniest.
And he gets the pepperoni pizza at the end.
And I think second. I mean, I do like. I don't know. I like Corey Feldman in the film, even though he's mouth, but yeah, I liked him. He had some good lines in there. I like the older brother. God, what was his name?
Brolin.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was Brand.
Yeah, but his acting. Wait, what was is Josh Brolin though?
Yes.
But
He
you
is.
know what? I didn't even pick up on that. Isn't that weird? I didn't even pick up that was him.
He becomes Thanos.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Josh Brolin, man, that's crazy.
I would have never guessed that one.
You can watch a movie this far in the future, and he's still learning something from it. Oh, jeez, crazy. But hey, that's what's cool about the podcast. We just learn as we talk.
That's right.
All that stuff, just off the cuff talking. Oh
yeah. I'm usually a little more prepared, but I watched this movie a couple of weeks ago, and
I know.
like I said, it didn't like blow my mind or anything, so I didn't really. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it.
I probably would have been. I know I had a lot more to say because like I watched it a couple weeks ago, and we've been trying to get this going on this episode, and the timing has been all over the place trying to connect and do it, but yeah, I mean, so the longer you go, the less fresh it becomes in your mind. But but as far as the experience goes, it was a great experience. I think reliving it, and that's what's good about these type of movies. A lot of movies, I can just. I like to put on and just kind of reminisce, oh yeah, I remember this, the first time I saw this or whatever. Right. And kind of think back, where I was when I was watching it or whatever, and realize how cool movies are back then, that they could just allude to certain things or whatever, and they're funny, they don't have to be, nowadays you watch a movie and you got to throw in a bunch of crap, to try to get a laugh out, but you can do it subtly in a movie back then, and you just like crack up because you know what they're talking about or meaning, and it just kind of, you don't have to be so direct,
and then that way that kids don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and now it's got to be, they screwed everything up.
Yeah, they got to be, vulgar as possible, or whatever. It's just like, yeah, man, you could have did it a classy way, it'd have been funnier. But yeah,
nah, they don't do it that way anymore.
No, not at all. Or you take a TV series that was really funny, which I love, Three's Company. That was a great show. It was not particularly a kid-friendly show, because back in the day it was controversial, but it was a fun show. But, as a kid, I didn't get all those jokes.
No.
I just want to hang out at the Regal Beagle, man.
Yeah. But my parents, they didn't mind if I watched it, but they were probably like, oh, man, this is on the edge. You know what I mean? This is on.
Right.
This is on the, it got some controversy. But I didn't get the jokes. But, man, when I watch it now, I'm laughing my butt off, man. It is hilarious.
Well, yeah, it's the same thing with, with Family Guy. When my kid was, like, super, super little, like, 2, 3, 4, and he just thought it was a cartoon. He didn't understand any of it. And, my wife would be like, I can't believe you're letting them watch that. I'm like, he doesn't get it. You know what I mean? He doesn't get it. He just thinks it's a cute little baby with a dog walking around.
Yeah.
But when he got older, he goes, I get all these, what they were talking about now. He's like, I can't believe you let me watch that. I said, that's because you didn't know. But yeah.
And even later on, like, even in the, I think I don't know if we talked about, but, we talked, I think the name came up, but like 90s shows, like Married with Children. Very controversial. I didn't get a lot of the jokes even in the 90s, and now I get them a lot more now because I'm paying more attention. Great show, though. Even Seinfeld had some real controversial things, but they were clean controversy. They were on the board. They were on the edge.
Right.
They were like, well, they're not really saying this directly, but you know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, and this is hilarious because you laugh more when it's like alluded to what they're talking about rather than just coming out and saying it. Seinfeld was just brilliant at doing some of that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Did you like Seinfeld at all, Mike? You were quiet there.
What's that? What about Seinfeld?
Did you ever watch Seinfeld?
Oh, heck yeah. That's one of the best shows on TV, man. It was awesome.
I could put on Seinfeld DVD anytime. And
who's your favorite character?
George.
Yep, I agree.
I mean,
hands down.
George is the best. I mean, you could argue Kramer too, but George, he just gets in trouble all the time. He's just great, man. Yeah,
hello,
he's by far
Newman.
He really, yeah, Newman's good, but George, man, he really did. Without George, I don't know how that show would have went. But
do you guys remember the answering machine one where he changes his answering machine to the Greatest American Hero theme song?
No.
Oh, it is so funny.
I gotta see that though. Well, even that show, the cast of that show was just brilliant. It was just golden. I mean, George's parents, come on.
Oh, they were great too.
Oh man,
George's and Jerry's.
Yeah, Jerry's.
Yeah, I mean
Jerry's dad.
I mean, Ben Stiller's dad in there. What's his name? Yeah, is Jerry Stiller? Is that what it is?
Jerry Stiller.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that dude is. You just look at him and want to laugh.
And then you also had what's the uncle, Jerry's uncle on the show, who was in Raymond, by the way.
Oh yeah. What?
Yeah, that guy showed up every once in a while.
They had some great
Uncle Leo, was it?
Yeah, they had some awesome, guest stars on that. And those shows are great just to put on because they're real short. You can just get a laugh in, and it doesn't take up so much time. But I like doing if it ain't streaming anywhere without commercials, I like putting on the DVD because I hate commercials. I mean, it just like breaks up the flow of a show. I just so
the Merv Griffin set, the Kenny Rogers Roasters.
Oh yeah. Oh man. I cannot believe they haven't put that remastered on Blu-ray yet. I just cannot believe.
Well, it's probably because whoever's streaming them, they probably have the license or something.
Yeah, because they're streaming in HD. It's crazy, but they haven't put those on Blu-ray.
I mean, do you really need Blu-ray for Seinfeld? I mean,
I think it looks really good in HD, but no, probably not. I mean, you could just the DVD looks fine up converted through a Blu-ray player. It does look good. I mean, it was in widescreen at least. It wasn't in full screen.
Octopussy.
So anyway, anything else we want to add with the Goonies?
No, I can't think of anything really.
I guess we didn't talk about too much of the scenes in it, like our favorite scenes or anything like that.
Well, they got farther than Chester Copperpot did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird because this guy was supposed to be an expert, and he's like in the first trap, he dies.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, what?
True.
What was the what was his name? Chester Copperpot? Is that what you said?
Yes.
But what was the penguin's name? Wasn't his name like Cobblepot? What was his name?
The penguin?
Yes.
Oh, yes, you are correct. Yes.
What was his name? It was like Cobblepot or something.
You
think that was a tip to the penguin?
I don't know. I just was very similar.
Yeah. Could have been a little little tribute or something. I don't know. That's weird. I've done that in movies before where they've tribute some favorite character or something and did some.
Oswald Cobblepot. That was his name.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they probably did. That's funny. I don't know. So that movie came out June 7th, 1985.
I knew I was close.
What all came out that day, I wonder what.
Oh, what other movies?
Yeah. What movies came out?
Gosh, 85 was such a big year.
Well, I'm talking like what came out competing with it.
Oh, that opening weekend or whatever.
Fletch? Was Fletch? Did that come out?
Fletch came out in 85.
Yeah,
we got to do Fletch, guys.
Yo, I love Fletch, man. I'll do that.
That movie is incredible.
So it looks like I'm trying to see. Because what I'm seeing here is like Rambo, First Blood Part 2.
Oh man, that ran forever.
But I don't know weekend domestic chart. I don't know if that was the day they came out or the day that was just the chart. Maybe I don't know. Let's see what the full chart was. When did that? Oh, weekends in release. That was second weekend with Fletch. It looks like.
What was Fletch? When did that?
So Fletch must have came out a couple weekends beforehand, and then Rambo must have came out 3 weekends before it. Well, Perfect came out the same weekend, which
that sucks.
Was a dud. So I don't see any other movies listed. I guess that were on the charts that came out that time.
I know there's a way to find it.
View to a Kill was on that top 10.
So it was June 7th, 1985. So
yeah.
I guess.
Domestic. Yeah, here, hold on a second. If you go to here, I got it, guys. I got it.
All right.
Hold on just a second. Here we go. We got... Okay, let's go to Memorial. Memorial Day was Rambo. That was still out. So it started May 22nd. Rambo, and then Ghostbusters.
Oh.
But that's from 84 though.
Oh. Yeah.
So let's see here. Yeah, they're not showing all the movies.
Yeah. That's what I couldn't find all the movies either.
Yeah, they're not showing all of them.
Well, that was the only movie that came out on that day. So.
Oh, I see. By year. Let's go by month.
But the top movie at the box office on June 7th, 1985 was Code of Silence with Chuck Norris.
Okay.
It was?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what it says.
Huh. I thought that was a good movie. I like that movie. Hey guys, are you looking to get healthy? How about getting healthy naturally? Your body needs 90 essential nutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 3 essential fatty acids. And the easiest way to get those nutrients into your body is to get the Healthy Body Start Pack. Go over to naturalhealthagenda.com and check out the awesome supplements that Longevity has to offer. Also, guys, after 90 days of trying the products years ago, I decided to become a distributor because Longevity gives you the power to become your own boss and to start your own business. I wanted to help others, so after healing my ailments naturally, I wanted to help other people. By becoming a distributor, I was able to share my knowledge to friends, family, and whoever wanted to listen. So drop Big Pharma, try something natural for a change. Go to naturalhealthagenda.com, naturalhealthagenda.com, and see what the power of nutrition can do for you.
85 was a huge year. I mean,
Yeah, it was.
Back to the Future,
Yep.
Rambo, Color Purple, Cocoon, Jewel of the Nile, Witness, Goonies, Spies Like Us, Mad Max, Beyond Thunderdome, Commando, Teen Wolf, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2.
Jewel of the Nile was a stinker. Rambo, when Goonies was released, Rambo was still tearing up the charts.
Yeah.
Oh, and in April was Police Academy 2.
Yeah. We saw, did we see that theater?
I didn't.
I went seen one of the police academies, but I don't remember which one.
September was Invasion USA and Commando.
Oh yeah, I want to see that again. The Invasion USA.
Yeah, I want to see it too.
I think it's playing on Prime. It was.
Oh, here you go, Steve. On March 22nd, Friday the 13th, The New Beginning.
Oh yeah, that was the worst one. Well, maybe not the worst one, but that was the most disappointing one. No, wait, was it? Was it? Wait, which one was it? Where it wasn't even Jason. It was him. It was the ambulance driver.
Yeah. So here you go, June. So you're saying June 7th, right? Okay, June 7th. Here it is. Rambo came in top with 10 million. Goonies opened at 9 million. Fletch was 6, and A View to a Kill was 4.5. And then you also had Brewster's Millions.
Oh yeah, Brewster's Millions.
What the heck? The Care Bears movie? What the heck is this?
Yeah, just to reiterate, yeah, Jason did play in that one. Remember that? A New Beginning? Because it wasn't even Jason. It was an ambulance driver. Yeah, that was a big disappointment. Anyway, I just want to get that out there. That was it, yeah.
That was the guy that wore the masks, right?
Yeah, he wore his mask, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, it was really like, man, you know, I mean, it might be entertaining now. I haven't watched it in a long time, but back then I remember being pretty disappointed because obviously it wasn't him. So I guess, how you gonna have a new beginning with somebody else, you know? So,
Hey, on
well, that's how you have a new beginning.
yeah, I know, but you know.
yeah. on July, the weekend of July 26th, National Lampoon's European Vacation beat out Back to the Future.
What?
That was the only movie that beat out Back to the Future in like a long time.
I bet it didn't last long.
Oh, probably not.
No.
And then you had Mad Max Thunderdome, Silverado.
Oh, Silverado, that's great.
St. Elmo's Fire.
Yeah, St. Elmo's Fire. Yeah, that was the Brat Pack. We just watched that not too long ago, actually. Just to
then
try to recap, like watch some of these old ones. You know,
Back to the Future was still number one until September 27th, and that was Invasion USA.
But anyway, guys, I guess we should wrap this one up.
Octopussy.
That's right. Well, I can say we've definitely done better podcasts, but
So
you're allowed to have a stinker, I guess.
I don't know. I think there's some good information in there, maybe. But
I wish I could have done the Raiders one.
we can always do a recap later or something.
Well, you got to get me on the Temple of Doom.
Yeah,
Temple Doom. Yeah, I haven't seen it in so long. I want to check it out.
One of the probably the worst part is kind of in Raiders where during the motorcycle chase or the truck chase, and you notice how he throws the guy off that big huge cliff, and you could totally tell it's like a matte painting.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible.
And I didn't catch that last time. Huh?
Well, maybe they cleaned it up, but
Well, like he was saying, they put a piece of glass in front of that cobra spitting venom, and
you can see it. You can see the glass.
Well, like I said, I watched on Blu-ray. I couldn't see nothing. So
Well, maybe they cleaned that up.
Yeah,
too.
that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if they cleaned it up.
Because there's a couple scenes in Temple of Doom that are like that. It's like, okay, that's a matte painting. It looks terrible.
I'm gonna have to check that out and pay more attention. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to Retro Media Talk podcast. Please subscribe to our podcast. Check it out, and hope you enjoy it. What's that I hear in the background?
That's you.
Hey, thanks.
Somebody's talking in the background. Somebody else's mic.
Thanks for listening to Retro Media Podcast. We'll catch you later.
Octopussy.
Retro Media Talk podcast. Yeah. All right.
Goonies.
See you guys. All right. See ya. Bye-bye.